I'm going to share with you how I'm growing my social media channels in order to bring business to my occupational therapy clinic. My name is Wong. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist. And even though there's like a shit ton of noise, I don't know if you can hear that ridiculous construction. Someone's coming back here rolling. It is never perfect, right? It is never perfect. I'm still going to do it anyway. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to share with you how I'm growing my social media channels. We just hit 10,000 followers on Instagram. We have over 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. I've monetized that channel. I'm on TikTok, and I just started TikTok, and already we've been growing like substantially over there. I think we're almost at 2,000, but considering like I'm just starting that channel, it's growing quite rapidly. I have like my slowest channel to grow is, funny enough, Facebook, but that's okay. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm on Instagram. Instagram is my favorite. YouTube is my favorite. Actually, TikTok's becoming one of my favorite ones. And I don't do it without help. This is Amanda. She's my marketing assistant, and she helps me with all my social media content. So I'm going to share with you how I got started. I got started with zero followers. Back then was for my clinic. I started on Facebook. And if you go far back, I don't encourage you to look that far back, but if you go far back enough, I used to do Facebook Lives. And I was doing YouTube and Facebook. Now, when it comes to growing your social media channel, you have to think about like, what's your purpose? What are you trying to do with your social media channel? And my intention for my social media following is really to promote my clinic. Like, I want to promote what I'm doing as an occupational therapist, as a certified hand therapist, and I'm using these free platforms essentially to share what I do here at the clinic. My clinic is called Hands-On Therapy Services, and if you want to, you can take a look at how that growth is. Now, the reason why I want to share with you how I'm growing my social media channel is because you probably, if you're trying to look it up, you'll see like a bunch of people saying, oh my God, I grew it in like 2 months to like however many. In the therapy realm, we're a very small niche type of topic, right? There's like how many billions of people on this earth, right? And if you're creating something that is funny, something that is entertainment, something that's like just dancing, or vlogging your life, you're trying to capture like a bunch of different people, like from those billions of people. When I started my channel, I was very specific to growing what I do for the Miami people. So my clinic's in Miami, Florida, and I wasn't necessarily trying to reach like every single person who had hand and arm pain, right? I was very specific to sharing what I know and telling more people how they can find me if they're in Miami, Florida. Fast forward to about 5 years ago, I started Hand Therapy Secrets, and what I did is I took what I learned from doing stuff for my clinic to sharing it for Hand Therapy Secrets and growing my channel, speaking very specifically to occupational therapists, speaking specific to a small number of physical therapists who are interested in the hand and upper extremity. So this is how I'm growing it. I share my perspective. A lot of times I take a picture and I share my perspective of what I'm doing. I create a video and I share my perspective of what I'm doing. Like, literally, that's it. Is that all I'm doing, Amanda? What else are we doing?
I go in there and I edit all of them.
There you go.
And I schedule everything.
She edits it, she schedules it out. And so...
And you also... I feel like one of the reasons why you've been able to grow so much is because you're very authentic. You're not trying to be somebody else, and you're very honest, which I feel like is very refreshing in this day and age.
Some people like it, some people don't. What can I tell you? It's a give and take. Okay, so we hit up on 2 topics, right? Authenticity and consistency. So one of the things that I was really able to nail down pretty rapidly was consistency. So I started with like posting 3 times a week. And I would post like, oh my God, I'm going to tell myself to post 3 times a week. And I would do it every once in a while. Then I got much better at posting 3 times a week. And then I took it from 3 times a week to daily. Right? And then now I post like a lot more. and then I post on both platforms. But when I was doing it pretty much by myself, I would just tell myself, just stay consistent, just stay consistent. One thing that I did not do was schedule myself out. And what I didn't do before was batch. So live and learn for me. So one of the best things I started doing was batching. So when I treat patients, I go and I take a bunch of pictures. I'll film myself. I'll have my staff film me. And then, so I batch out a bunch of content. Even as I'm sitting here doing videos and stuff like that, I try to batch things out. So I think about now, but I also think about like what I'm looking for in the next few weeks. And then I batch it out, and then I schedule it out to post. All of the platforms have some kind of native scheduling extension where you can schedule it out. So like on Instagram and on Facebook, I just schedule it out on Meta Business. And so it's a way that I can just make sure that I'm staying really consistent with putting content out every single day. So consistency was one of the first things that I did to make sure that I had a steady level of growth. It can be really slow at first because therapy is kind of like a niche type of topic, and not everyone needs therapy right at the moment that you're creating the therapy topics and videos. Remember that whatever you're creating, people can consume at a later time. Just because you create it today doesn't mean that they're going to see it tomorrow. So when I'm creating content, I'm creating things from a marketing standpoint, I think about like, what can I do that can live on, that can go from today, tomorrow, to the next day, to a month from now, to a year from now. Like some of my most commented videos, actually one of my most hated videos was created like almost 8 years ago, and people are still making comments about it because they hate it so much. But the good comes with the bad. So I always say that it's my most hated comment, my most hated video, but actually it created a lot of value. Unfortunately, those people didn't know how to give like constructive feedback to say, hey, I was hoping you would provide me with this information or leave me more. Some people left me more thoughtful questions. Other people were like, you suck, like you wasted my time. I'm like, okay, well that neither helps me nor you. But what I got from it was some feedback to say, hey, we need more valuable content. Also, with a side note that things change. What worked 8 years ago doesn't work today. So of course people are gonna have shit to say. So you have to be like, you know what? I don't receive that. Like don't let it get sticky to your soul and have your feelings hurt, right? So consistency was one of the first things that I did. But second thing was the authenticity, which was actually in a way a little bit hard because I thought that you were supposed to show up a certain way. Like I've been to so many different classes. I've been to different conferences. I kind of see like therapists, or you see the people who teach at the university level, and they're all like very prim and proper. And I'm not prim and proper. If you've ever been to my class, I'm not prim and proper. If you ever watch my videos, I'm not prim and proper. And even my patients, we have a really good time because I can be very, I can be funny. I'm very relaxed in my style, and I just like to have a good time. I don't want to be like, oh, well, this is the way it's supposed to be, right? It took me a little while to get that across because I thought by going on YouTube, by going and creating videos or pictures on Instagram, that it was supposed to be a certain way because I had seen it within my own profession a certain way. So take this as permission if you need to just do and be who you are. So I always tell people, listen, I curse a little bit. And you know what? I curse a lot. I have a mouth like a sailor, an attitude that's full of sass, right? And I'm honest to a fault, right? So if you're not into the candor, then I might not be the person for you. So it took me a little while, even though I might be like that in real life. And of course, you have to know how to move and shift in context to your surrounding, right? So for example, if I'm working with someone who's real prim and proper, I'm not cursing. Right? I'm not cursing because they can't necessarily turn me off. They're coming in, I'm treating them, I'm not cursing. the minute they curse, you just gave me permission. What? You want to be relaxed? You want to be like laid back and you want to say whatever you want to say? Let's go. Right? Because that's how I am more. But on a podcast, you can pick and choose whether you're still listening or not. We're like 10 minutes in. Thank you so much if you're still listening. But yeah, I had to learn how to show up as myself and share my perspective, give my opinion on things, tell people what I do, and essentially not hold back, right? So to a certain extent, people crave that more. We are in 2024. People crave that more now than, let's say, they did it 10 years ago, right? So that's essentially how I grew, my social media channels, and that's how I grew. And the intention behind growing social media for me isn't to make money off of these platforms. Now, if you are a therapist and you want to grow your channel on TikTok and make money off TikTok, or do certain things on Facebook and Instagram. I actually met a few people just randomly that made money off of just posting a lot and posting about their life and posting this and that. You can make money off those platforms. That is not how I'm trying to make money. I am using my social media channels to reach more people and to invite them into my business. Actually, just yesterday, I evaluated somebody who the daughter saw me on Instagram and sent me a message on Instagram saying, hey, my mom's got this problem. Do you think you can help? And so I had an opportunity to talk to her and say, hey, absolutely, what's your best phone number that we can call you? I'll have my staff give you a call and see what we can do to help your mom. So that started the conversation. My manager actually got on the phone with her and asked her a bunch of questions and make sure that we could help her and stuff like that. And then she came in for an evaluation. She is now a patient of mine, and she's going to need at minimum 12 visits. And so that's how I'm using my social media channel. I am going out there, I am sharing what I do, but I'm not going out there and talking about like, hey, I'm an occupational therapist, I'm a certified hand therapist. I'm really not. On my clinic platforms, I am saying, hey, if you have carpal tunnel, these are things that you might want to think about, considerations, right? These are some facts, these are some misconceptions, these are things that I hear that is wrong. This is what I do in my clinic. So on my YouTube channel for my clinic, I create so many videos there that share what I do. And then not only do I, can people find me and call me, but they can share it with their friends, and I essentially get to help more people beyond the borders of Miami. So even if they can't come to me, I have the ability to help them somehow, and those people will find an occupational therapist in their city and get some help. So that's just like bonus help, but essentially I'm using Facebook, Instagram as my two. I use LinkedIn in a certain way as well. So when it comes to using your social media channels, you want to learn how each of those channels work, because you want to post content that pertains, that is most effective to those platforms. Let me see if I'm making sense on that. So for example, TikTok is very, very casual as compared to I think Facebook or LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very prim and proper, I think. So the things that go on TikTok don't go on LinkedIn, right? So you have to just know your platforms, get to know your platforms well. That way when you post out content, it can really resonate with the people you're trying to attract and bring to you. I actually had, so I shared a story of how my Instagram brought a patient in. My TikTok, so my TikTok channel, I just started a few months ago. I don't know when you're going to watch this, but I just started a few months ago. My clinic TikTok only has like 80 something followers. Hands-on therapy services, right? Hands-on therapy services only has like 80 something followers as we speak right now. Whereas Hand Therapy Secrets is at like over like almost 2,000, let's say almost 2,000, and that channel is growing really rapidly. If I look at my analytics, it's growing up very 3 digits percentages fast, right? Whereas my clinic isn't. Here's the thing, right? I post a lot more content on my Hand Therapy Secret side, but guess what? Everyday people are like, oh my God, the thing that you're talking about, Wong, I have. How can you help me? I'm like, well, girl, call my clinic, right? So I actually got a patient that came in, young woman, and I'm super proud of this. So I'm sharing. It's not about it's not about like how many visits someone comes into, even though I shared that with the last story. This young woman came in. She only needed like, I want to say 2 to 3 sessions at the most. But here's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of the fact that she is in her 20s, late 20s, early 30s, and she has the belief that she doesn't have to live with that type of symptoms, that type of pain, that type of limitation for decades before getting help, right? She saw that video that I created and was like, oh my God, I have something like that. And can you help me? So I think she messaged us, and then I did the same thing. I was like, hey, this is where my clinic's located. Here, give us a call, or we can call you. She called the clinic. We spoke to her, and then we're like, yeah, based on what you're saying, we can help you. If someone came in and said whatever, and we're like, oh no, based on what you're telling us, we can't help you, we would say the same thing. Oh, what area do you live in? What kind of, we can refer you to a surgeon or a doctor, whatever, based on what we know from the story that you're telling us. And if we're not sure, we'll just invite them in as well, just to talk and get more clear. But I felt really proud of that because I was able to reach someone that I don't think most of us reach because we're not sharing what we can do for them. So that's why I grow my YouTube. That's why I grow my YouTube channel. That's why I grow all my social media platforms. Yes, it is to bring in a certain amount of business, eyeballs to the business. But most importantly, it's helping somebody somewhere. And even if I can't help them here in Miami, I can help them wherever they are, to ask for an occupational therapist, to ask for a certified hand therapist, or anything like that. And then, of course, like if they're seeing me on Hand Therapy Secrets and they're a therapist, and they want to learn, they want to grow their skills. We have clinical skills and then we have business skills. They're 2 separate sets of skills. But if you're looking to develop your skills, like that, I have the ability to help somebody change their perspective. Somebody bought my book. I'm actually in the process of revamping this. But someone, like an occupational therapist, bought my book. It's called The Hands-On Approach. I actually wrote this for people with injuries because I wanted to share my perspective and how they can avoid pills, injections, and surgeries, especially if you can catch things early, being more proactive. But then there's a chapter here on like what to do post-surgically. So I'm actually in the process of revising my book. And she was like, oh, and she has not bought anything from me except for my book, and was like, oh, I really appreciated how you wrote it, and it changed my perspective on how I approach patients. I mean, like, wow. I wish I was recording that when she told me, because that was like, I just want to keep remembering, like, that's what I'm doing. Does it take a while to get there? Absolutely, it takes a while. But can you get there as an occupational therapist looking to grow your own business? 100%. You just have to get started. Now, if you're looking to get started or you're looking to grow and make a bigger impact, then I have a free business masterclass coming up September 21st, and the links are all below. You can come on. It's an opportunity, small group opportunity to talk to me about business, to help. Like, my whole point is to help you create a plan that's going to help you over the next 3 to 6 months. We're at the end of 2024 right now. What can you do to get the most out of 2024 if you've already started your business and you've got a couple of clients already, and you're like, I want to do more because this feels so good, but I need to develop these business skills? Come to the business masterclass. If you're looking to get started and you're looking to get started within the next 3 to 6 months, this is your opportunity to come into this masterclass and learn and get everything you need to get going right now. The whole point of creating a plan isn't to sit on it and to say, oh, in 2 years, in 3 years, I'm going to do this, because I'm going to tell you what, in 2 to 3 years, you will have forgotten about that plan. You would have done nothing. But the whole point to come onto this masterclass is really to not only create that plan, but create a plan that you can start to take action on, because that's the only way to get started. So yeah, I'm telling you, did not wait for perfect timing for me to record this. I've blocked a certain time to chunk out to make hopefully what I think valuable content. You're the only one who can tell me if I did something valuable for you. Can you leave me a comment and say, this was good, this is bad, this is what I'm looking for? You can tell me. But I didn't wait for conditions to be perfect. Sometimes you're gonna do shit even when conditions are not perfect. And that's my point, right? You can grow your social media channel even when nothing is exactly perfect. You can start today. I started with 0 followers, and I've grown to 10K and more across all platforms. But what it's done for me is really, it's helped me grow my business and to share my perspective with everyone who's willing to listen and watch this almost 22-minute video. All right, you want to know more? All the links are below. Come to my free masterclass. I'll see you there.